Hey guys, welcome back to 428 Shibuya Scramble. This is DJ Gamero signing up. So, last episode we finished up Achi's 12 o'clock chapter. It was just getting good when I did it to continue. It was just getting good. But I still need to try and change Kano's fate, so I'm just going through Osawa's 12 o'clock to see, going through that, and then I'll see if anything changed with Kana once I'm done. He knocked on the door to Ai's room, but there was no response. It didn't look like she'd gotten back home yet. Osawa let himself in. Not sure if that's a good idea. The stinging scent of her perfume pervaded the room, which was decorated in all white. I mean, yeah, she's a bitch, but common decency. You don't just wander into someone's room. Clothes were strewn all about, as if to put her slovenliness on display. She'd been like this ever since they'd gotten married, and also had long since stopped caring. So she's a bit of a slob. My room's worse. Not gonna lie, my room is and has been worse. It must have been I who tried to flush the ticket. He knew she didn't want him to go to America. But still, couldn't she have found a better way to get rid of it? Thanks to her, he'd been stuck hunched over the damn toilet fighting with a plunger. Also, I sat down on the bed amidst the brand-name clothing. Then he spotted something odd down by his feet. It was a gold cigarette lighter. Just when had I picked up smoking? Also, I picked up the lighter and set it on the shelf next to the bed. He started out of the room, but stopped as he noticed a scrapbook on the bookshelf. The rest of the shelf was filled with fashion magazines, so the scrapbook definitely drew his eye. Curious, he took it down and opened it. The book was filled with articles and write-ups about the results of Osawa's research and the company's various achievements. Flipping through the pages took him on a trip down memory lane. There was even an old company memo welcoming Tanaka on board as his new vice director. There was a photo of Osawa shaking Tanaka's hand at the party, celebrating his new position. It was a little peculiar to think that she had bothered to keep something so trivial. A series of magazine articles nestled between the pages further into the book. She hadn't been clipped out for inclusion in the scrapbook itself. These hadn't been clipped out for inclusion in the scrapbook itself. Also, a glance through them. Floundering Okashi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage of political convenience. It was a self-indulgent piece from some rag called Four-Star General Gossip, from right after he and I had gotten married. When the piece had first run, he'd been too furious to read it. Now he gave it a quick looking over. It was pretty much exactly what he'd expected. It talked about how one of the corporate directors had sacrificed his own daughter in order to keep one of his researchers on the board, allowing someone else to come to harm for lovely. Father of the frickin' year, AI. No wonder you're a bitch. Referring, of course, to Makino offering Osawa Ai's hand in marriage. Rumors abound of marital strife between the newlyweds. The article went on to talk about how Ai had been dating another man before she and Osawa had gotten married. The whole thing was a bunch of puerile rubbish. Any marriage involved some kind of calculated self-interest, after all. Whatever the reasons for their union, nothing changed with the fact that I was now his wife. With a faint sigh, Osawa put the scrapbook back on the shelf. Feeling disconsolate, he returned to his study and began flipping through his CD rack. His eyes scanned for Aya Kamiki's album For Tomorrow Forevermore. A lot of her more experimental numbers are on that album. Given how discombobulated he felt right now, this is what he needed to hear. Again, also I reflected on how there'd been a time when he didn't care about music at all. He'd simply purchased copies of the most popular CD of the moment as birthday presents for his two girls. And that had just happened to be an album by Aya Kamiki. Hitomi was thrilled by the gift, but Maria hadn't seemed terribly fond of it. The next day, she tossed her copy back on her father's desk. Fearing that throwing it away would be a waste, Osawa had stuck the CD into his computer and gave it a listen. He was immediately bombarded by an intense beat bolstered by bold, uplifting vocals. Aya Kamiki wrote her own lyrics, which did a fine job of conveying the emotions of a teenage girl. Osawa could hardly believe it. After listening to just one track, he was well and truly hooked. Before the day was out, he had purchased her entire discography. Huh, he muttered. For tomorrow I should have been in the CD rack, but there was no sign of it. Where the heck is it? Why isn't it here? For a moment he wondered if he was going crazy, and then he remembered. It was at the lab. You left it at the lab? He wanted something to listen to on break at work, so he'd brought the album there. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Not being able to listen to it made him want to hear it all the more. It wasn't like he could just go out and buy another copy right now either. He'd just have to borrow the copy he'd given to Hitomi all those years ago. Unable to contain his need to hear that music, he went into Hitomi's room. There, he quickly rummaged through the CD rack beside his daughter's bed. Part of him felt like he was being a little sneak thief. According to the email Tanaka had shown him, someone was trying to kill Hitomi. Under the circumstances, he knew that what he was doing was ridiculous, and yet he still couldn't resist the impulse to find the CD. But his efforts were to no avail. There were no Aya Kamiki CDs in the rack at all. Also, I pulled out every CD on the rack. They were all classic music. He slumped back in disappointment. It had to be somewhere here in her room. Also, I jumped at the sound of his cell and fumbled to get it out of his pocket. Makino's name was displayed on the LCD screen. I'm out front. That was all Makino said before hanging up. Oh, we're finally going to have that meeting with Makino. Hurriedly, also I began tidying up the CD rack. As he worked, he thought about what he was going to say to Makino. To think that someone had violated corporate policy to such unethical ends. It sullied his research. Also, I wasn't about to let anyone get away with it. And yet, he was about to leave Hitomi's room. As he was about to leave Hitomi's room, a sudden uncertainty gripped him. He hesitated. Did he have any right to condemn Makino for running trials in secret? His hand began to sweat as he gripped the doorknob. No, he didn't. How could he? His hands were dirty in all this, too. We need to keep this a secret, just between us. It'll be fine. We've already cleared animal testing. The memories hovered. Osawa himself had already administered the antiviral to someone, hadn't he? It was the only way. Ooh. Muttering to nobody in particular, also a trudged toward the front of the house. Oh, come on! Just like with Achi. It was starting to get good! So he was the one that did it. Ooh. Alright, let's see if what I did helped with this. Helped with Kano. Yeah, what am I doing wrong? Seriously. Oh, wait. That's... Yes! Minorikawa took a look at his wristwatch and gritted his teeth. By the way, what sort of impression do you have of this wristwatch? Just respond to whatever happens to go to Interesting. Damn, is it that late already? He needed to head for the sales demo. The surveillance camera article wasn't done, but he'd just have to leave it where it was for now. As he was slipping his laptop back into his bag, his cell phone rang. He looked at the screen and saw Chaki's name listed as the incoming caller. Was she done with her interviews? Hurriedly, he picked up. Chaki, how's it going? Several wet sniffles came through the receiver. Hey, are you crying? It's no use. Chaki's voice was indeed punctuated by sobs. People won't stop to talk no matter how hard I try. Oh, come on! This again? Really? I can't do it. Don't worry about paying me. Just please let me go home. Minorikawa was already operating on a too tight schedule. He didn't have time to worry about Chaki on top of it all. Look, just slow down and take a breath. And keep at it a little longer. He should have seen this coming when he first called her. Her shyness was practically pathological. But if he cut her loose now, all this frustration would be for nothing. But I can't do that, Chaki whined again. I'm sorry, I really am. Look, just calm down. Minorikawa was practically screaming into his phone. Just stay where you are until I get there, okay? Got that? Whatever you do, just don't move. Leaving the money for his coffee on the table, he strode out of the cafe. Street interviews were tougher than they looked. Not many random passerby were willing to stop and do a back and forth. Still, being able to talk to people on the street was a fundamental skill for a freelance reporter. All Minorikawa wanted was for Chiaki to put in a little effort and make it happen. Although he found her personally frustrating, he actually quite liked her writing. Reading her words, you'd never guess what she was like in person. If she could just break the right story, he was sure readers would be quite taken with her. There was no time like the present. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was as crowded as ever. Minorikawa looked around and soon spotted Chaki. Hey, what are you doing? She was hunkered down in front of the statue of Hachiko, squatting in an odd position. A group of kindergartners were gathered nearby, peering at her with sadness in their eyes, like she was a stray dog doing something. A pair of girls from Midoriyama's Academy's kindergarten. They always hang out around the train station after school. They're quite fond of killing time inside the Tokyo 5000 series display car, the new landmark by the Hachiko entrance. The beat cop at the station's police box nicknamed them the Kinder Partners. Okay, that's kind of adorable. What's this all about? Minorikawa asked. This is how I end up when I lose all my self-confidence. I just want to hide. Oh, for crying out loud. Get up, will ya? I don't want to. Stop crying. Chaki sniffled and wiped her eyes. Let me ask you this. Minorikawa stared down at her. What is it that made you want to be a freelance writer? I guess because I wanted to try my hand at writing. A dangling bit of mucus bobbed in and out of Chaki's left nostril as she spoke. Okay, Minorikawa followed. And why is that? Well, I'm too embarrassed to say. Chaki hid her face in her hands. Okay, never mind that then. Right now, you have a task that's been handed to you. You can't just say you can't do it. Minorikawa tried to keep his tone calm. No magazine in the world is going to let a novice writer just write about whatever they want. You have to prove yourself first. Get your fundamentals down. I already know all that. Minorikawa took the notebook from Chaki's hands. Hey, she squeaked. Wait, you've only talked to one person so far? There sure wasn't going to be a story in that. Yeah, well, not a person exactly. Wait, what's this here? The cat? Hey, that looks like Tama. She spoke to Tama? No. I mean, yes, there was a person in a cat costume. Let's get that registered. I thought since I couldn't see their face, it'd be easier to ask them stuff. Fine, whatever. Now get back out there and get me some more. The kids are joining him in the pointing. Minorikawa steered Chiaki toward the passing crowd. What? Now? Yes, now! We've got no time to waste. I'll even stand by and watch for a minute. No, enough with the excuses and get out there. Minorikawa looked on as Chiaki wandered through the crowd. Her anxious demeanor seemed to repel everyone around her. On the rare chance she did manage to flag someone down, the way she stammered through her initial questions made them take right off again. After a minute or two, she shuffled her way back, shoulders slumped. See? It's hopeless. Okay, some advice. First off, you aren't approaching the right people. Some people are clearly in a rush, you know? You're not going to have much luck trying to flag down a businessman who's visibly in a hurry. Now, folks who are waiting on someone, couples, groups, they're going to be less on their guard. But, I mean, if I do manage to nab someone, how do I keep the conversation going? Chiaki asked. That was indeed the tricky part. Whenever I get an answer I'm not expecting, I get all flustered. Chiaki, have you ever played tennis? Tennis? Well, yeah. I was in my school's tennis club. She struck Minorikawa as being more the manga club type. But that was neither here nor there. Okay, that'll make this simpler. What's more fun, rallying with an opponent or hitting the ball off a wall? Rallying with someone else, of course. Minorikawa gave a hearty nod. And why is that? Because when you hit the ball off a wall, you already know where it's going to come back to. Revelation dawned on Chiaki's face. Oh. It's the same with interviews, Minorikawa said. Don't get flustered, enjoy the rally. But I don't think I'm composed enough to enjoy it. Don't overthink things. Just let yourself enjoy the small talk. Small talk? Oh, I'm sure I'm not getting good at that. She was starting to waffle again. Okay, let me ask you this, Minorikawa said, taking a step closer. Are you happy with your life right now? I'm not happy with my life right now, no. Chiaki muttered. She hung her head in dismay. Okay, so start with that, Minorikawa said. Huh? Chiaki blinked a few times as she lifted her head back up. I'm not happy with my life right now. But what about you? Like that? Oh, okay. A sliver of liveliness had crept back into Chiaki's voice. Minorikawa jabbed his fingers right in her face. Right there, he said. Put on that face when you flag people down. Chiaki's smile widened. I'll give it a shot. Thank you so much. Sure thing. Good luck. Chiaki strode enthusiastically into the crowd and tried to flag down a Westerner who was walking hurriedly past. That's Leyland! Did she even listen to a word I said? Minorikawa felt his short-lived triumph melt away. Am I just going to have to teach her everything again from scratch? Then he paused in surprise. Hold on. Okay, good. Whoa. Chiaki had snatched the man by the arm in an attempt to get him to stop. To Minorikawa's amazement, the gambit worked. Before long, it looked like the two were engaged in some kind of animated conversation. Maybe she would get an interview out of this after all. Heck, the look on her face was actually somewhat confident. Sometimes people could surprise you once you got past their surface issues. Now Minorikawa could head to the Burning Hammer sales demo with a little more peace of mind. Speaking of which... Crap, what time is it? In a panic, Minorikawa checked his wristwatch. Think about this wristwatch. That will tell you how you think about the opposite What? Okay. The demo was set to start in less than 5 minutes. Uh-oh. He really was cutting it close. Minorikawa sprinted through the intersection, heading for center guy. Alright. Let's get to Tama's. No! Where could the truck that took the burning hammer possibly have gone? I'm standing here racking my brain when I hear a voice come out from behind me. Excuse me. Are you, happy with in your life right now? I turn to see a woman holding a notebook. Eh? I mean, just... Sorry. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? I do not have the time for this right now. I'm more than a little busy. Oh, no. I mean, I understand if you can't. She's giving me this hyper-intensive stare. I can't tell if she's trying to be intimidating, or if she's actually afraid of me. Something about her is definitely off. Way too jittery and suspicious for my liking. Whatever she wants, I'd rather not get involved. I'm actually pretty busy, I say. Oh, but, I mean, just real quick, it'd be a huge help. Please? But, please. Please. She bows so many times, she looks like she's one of those drinking birds. A toy boy that functions by means of a simple heat engine mechanism, causing it to continually dip its head into liquid and then rise back up. Sometimes falsely claimed to be a type of perpetual motion device, once the common sight in offices in the world over. I can't help but feel bad for this poor girl. I guess I can give her at least a few moments of my time. Alright, but please make it quick. Oh, thank you! Thank you so much! She goes back into drinking bird mode. So, what was the question? Oh, right. So, are you, happy with your life right now? Well, right now, as you can see, I'm a cat. Oh, a cat. Yes, I see, a cat. So, yeah, I'll put down cat. She just writes down the word cat in her notepad. Right, thank you. Huh? We finished already? Yes. Yes, we can finish right there. She hangs her head a little and looks away. Well, that was sure quick. I'm not sure I get what it was all about. Did I really give her enough to be useful? I doubt it, but at least it was over fast. I head up in search of the burning hammer once more. No matter where I wander, though, I don't spot the truck anywhere. Now there's only 15 minutes before the demo's supposed to start. I better make my way back to the venue. Maybe Chidi had better luck in her search. Back at the break room, I'm met by Mr. Yana, who positively radiates despair. That was something out of a horror game. Jesus Christ. Did you find it? I'm sorry. I tried. Yana's shoulders slump further at my response. Have you heard from Chidi? I ask. No, nothing yet. I guess she's our last hope. All of a sudden, Mr. Yana holds up a pendant. Situation's rough. I'd like you to wear this. It's a miracle stone, like the one I saw back in the storeroom earlier. This ought to kick up your luck a notch. Now I see that Yana is wearing another miracle stone around his own neck, using one bit of sham merchandise to help find another. Nice. This is the pinnacle of pitiful. That's what this is. Hurry up, put it on, before the luck runs out. Mr. Yana's eyeballs are all bloodshot. Something tells me that refusing his request wouldn't be wise right now. After a moment's hesitation, I take hold of the pendant. The stone is blue and glittery. Is that Chidi? Mr. Yana squeaks. He whips out his phone. Ah, no, sorry, he mutters after listening for a moment. I think you have the wrong number. Guess it isn't Chidi after all. Okay. And yet he stays on the line. Huh? Really? His tone suddenly does a complete 180. Yes, please, thank you so much. As soon as he hangs up, Yana strikes a victory pose. It's a miracle! Burning Hammer is back, baby! Huh? The recycling guy realized his mix-up and returned the boxes to the loading dock. Whoa, for real? You girls did great! Thank you! From the bottom of my heart. I've never seen someone come so close to literally jumping for joy. I'm going to prep the demo room. Tama, you go bring the burning hammer inside. The burning hammer. With that, Mr. Yana practically flies out of the room. No way, I murmur to myself. This thing didn't actually work, did it? I examine the miracle stone more closely. It just looks like some kind of toy jewelry. I wish that I actually get paid my 20,000 yen. Hey, it's worth a shot. With the miracle stone still clutched in my hand, I hurry out to the loading dock. I brace myself before actually stepping out the door. It's there! It's really there! The cardboard boxes are scattered all around outside. Oh! Achi threw them! Wait, scattered all around? What happened to them? I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this. Apprehension gnaws at me as I open up one of the boxes. No! I shriek and my vision dims. The box is full of bottles of burning hammer. All of them smashed to pieces. That was from when Achi threw them to escape the assassin. Whoops! I mean, it didn't end in a bad end, so that was, I guess I was supposed to happen. Anyway, I'm going to need to look up how to fix the bad end here, because I'm confused. So, hopefully we'll be getting past that in the next episode. Till then, this is the Gamer Girl, signing off.